Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a picture of Stephen, Mr. Stephen Shamus.
So, Alex, in the theme of playing around with where we were, let's try and we did movie theater last week.
Yeah,
let's see where else you could take us to.
Let me surprise you. Let's see where we can go.
Let's see what you got.
Oh, you know what? My favorite place in every house is the kitchen. So there's us in the kitchen. I guess if we were doing like a Zoom cooking show, this would be great. But then you would just be in the kitchen cooking.
This looks pretty good.
Yeah, can you? Is it on the other side? Yeah, I'm going to make an espresso for us, and then some toast. There it is, toast.
All right, so your job is to find a background that works for us that we're going to try next week.
I love it. Good.
This is great. This is great. All right, cool. What are we talking about this week, Alex?
We're back into my favorite stuff. We're talking a little Star Wars, Hera Syndulla and Huyang. And then we're going to talk a little random stuff. We're going to talk Megamind, and then we're going to talk Nightwatch, which may be the first time anybody has ever heard of the Marvel Comics Nightwatch. Probably.
Got it. All right, what are we starting with today?
Hera Syndulla. M-E-W, Hera Syndulla.
Yeah, so it's been a few weeks since the episode aired, so I don't think we're spoiling anything.
No.
But the show has sort of gotten into some very, very interesting territory. This character played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead is really a main character in the series, and now you're starting to see the books really, really take off.
Yep.
Do you want to just talk about her character in the comic versus what Mary plays on screen? Is it basically the same character?
You're talking about it's the same character. This is a character that started off in the cartoon Star Wars Rebels, which theoretically Ahsoka is an exact sequel to that cartoon show. So maybe if you're a little lost, I would say, brush up on your Star Wars Rebels, even go watch it because it's my favorite Star Wars. But the character Hera Syndulla, after being in Rebels, the cartoon series, she's actually shown up almost everywhere. She's been in a lot of the novels. She's been in almost all of the comic series. At the end of the last Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi, or Rise of Skywalker. At the Rise of Skywalker, you see all the ships coming to help. The Ghost, Hera's ship, is in that scene. You can see her ship. You can see that ship there. So this is a character that's been kind of in all of the Star Wars since Disney bought them in some form or another. So the character's definitely not going anywhere. I mean, they wouldn't have chosen Mary Elizabeth for any other reason other than they wanted a big name for this role because it's a big role. So very interesting. I'm glad to see her back. And I don't think this is the last time we're going to see her or her son, who is the son of Kanan Jarrus, who is a Jedi. So that's more future Star Wars stuff. Right.
Okay, so this gets complicated. So you're going to have to, our listeners are going to have to pay very close attention here. So Marvel had the license in 2015. Star Wars Kanan, The Last Padawan #1, June of 2015, is a Mark Brooks cover. It's the first appearance of Kanan Jarrus, who you said, Ezra Bridger, Chopper, Hera Syndulla. Did I say it right? Hera Syndulla. Hera Syndulla. Sabine, Sabine Wren, who's also in the series. Garazeb Zeb Aurelios and Greg Weisman's story, Pepe Larraz's art with a Mark Brooks cover. There's 1,578 9/8, so they definitely printed a lot of copies of this book.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
$150 for 9.8, $5 to $10 raw. But here's where it gets interesting. The Rebels TV 1 in 15 variant cover.
Yes.
There's 91 9.8. That's about $100 plus in 9/8. That's going up. But again, the Rebels cover is not the cover that everyone wants. The Killian Plunkett 1 in 25 variant cover is the one that everyone wants. Yep. There's 102 9.8. It's a $450 book.
Wow.
Okay. Then there's the blank sketch edition, 89 9.8s, and hopefully you're having her at the show New York Comic Con. I would assume that a lot of those blank sketch editions are going to become covers of her, and she's going to sign them there. That's why they're selling for $185 to $200 in 9.8, because now people want to get them sketched and signed. 100%, that always happens. Then there's the Phil Noto Bam Second and Charles edition, 120 9.8. That's $175 to $200 $200 book in 9/8. There's the Scotty Young variant edition, 115 9.8. That's about $175 book in 9.8. Then there's the Mark Brooks second print with a black cover, 136 9.8s, $250 to $275 in 9.8.
Wow.
Then in 2018, IDW now has the license. Star Wars Forces of Destiny, Hera, #1, no number. It's got an Eva Wilderman cover on it, January of 2018. She does cover A, which is a 50-50 cover.
Yep.
9.8s. It's about $150 plus.
Wow, that's not
Devin
a lot.
Grayson's story. Then there's the Elsa Charretier variant cover B, so the white cover, 19 9.8s, also $125 to $150 9.8. Then there's the Elsa Charretier Dual Virgin Convention Edition, 3 9.8s. That's about a $200 book in 9.8. There's the Eva Wilderman 1 in 10 Retailer Incentive Virgin Edition, 8 9.8s, about a $275 plus book in 9.8.
Wow.
And then lastly, Marvel gets the license back in 2018, just a few months later. Dr. Aphra #18, May of 2018, 50 9.8s. That's about a $100 book in 9.8. And then there's the Rod Reyes Kylo Ren variant edition, 10 9.8s. It's about a $15 to $18 raw book. So there's a lot to take in on Hera Syndulla.
Yeah, there's a lot of books.
Okay, so going on to Star Wars, continuing now with your friend David Tennant.
Yes.
What do we got?
Huyang.
Right. So talk about this. So talk about this character now.
So this is another character that was from the animated universe. He was only in really like 4 or 5 episodes of the Clone Wars animated show. There was, Ahsoka was in that episode, in those episodes. It was a quick run. Essentially, this character, when the Jedi Order was around, would help younglings find their crystals and build lightsabers. That's what he would do. He was the lightsaber builder. So that's why when you see the show and he's analyzing the lightsabers, he knows exactly whose is whose. That was kind of his deal. And then all of a sudden, Darth Vader comes, kills everybody, and people are on the run. At some point, I think Ahsoka saves him or hooks up with him, and they've been traveling ever since, which is awesome. It's a really cool nod to the animated series. And David Tennant was the voice of the character in the animated series, so it was fun. Anytime David Tennant is in something, I'm in it. I'm full on. He's great.
Yeah, he really takes over the screen.
Yeah.
So Huyang, Star Wars Age of Republic Special #1, March of 2019, has a Rod Reyes cover. There are 37 9.8s. It's about $125 plus book in 9.8, $25 to $30 raw. Sachs Hauser and Guggenheim Stories, Villanelli, Gomez, and Wingard art with a Rod Reyes cover. Then there's the Mike McCone variant cover, 10 9.8s, $35 to $45 raw. Koi Fam variant cover, 18 9.8s, $30 to $40 raw. And the Mike Deodato Greatest Moments Queen Amidala variant edition, 3 9.8s, $25 to $30 raw. All right. Alex's pick of the week. What do you got for us today?
Hey, I want to keep talking about Star Wars, obviously. And we just talked about 2 characters, and we talked about where they come from. They came from the animated series stuff, right? They came from Clone Wars. They came from Star Wars Rebels. It's interesting, and as we talk about Star Wars Rebels and like how Ahsoka is the next iteration of that cartoon, and just in general of like that being kind of a lot of stuff, because Dave Filoni, who's doing the Ahsoka show, that was his show. His Ahsoka, or the Rebels, was a show that he took over. It was a continuation from Clone Wars. No George Lucas at this time. It was all Dave Filoni. These are his characters, right? He co-created Ahsoka. So looking back again, this was something that was a kids television show. It definitely towards the end got a little bit more serious, a little bit more I think the writers knew they were writing for Star Wars adult fans and less for children, because it definitely got a little bit heavier. But the merchandise for that show was for kids, and I'm looking right now that Lego just introduced a new Lego sets for the show. Great, and one of them is the Ghost, the ship that Hera has, which is the second version, because when the Rebels cartoon came out, they actually did a Ghost as well. But the original Lego version the Ghost and Phantom, the ship, you're looking at $380 raw loose, out of box, and like $600-700 in box. That's
Wow.
a lot. That's a lot. And saying that, like this Rebels, the toys, I know the Black Series is reproducing some of the Rebels toys to, for the Ahsoka show, just kind of repaints. But that stuff wasn't, I mean, it was bought up by super Star Wars collector fans, not this new world of live action and stuff. So finding anything that was a Rebels collectible from, we're only talking like 5-6 years ago. Now it's going to be hard. And it's going to be expensive.
I wonder if Toy Wiz has any. I'll check on Toy Wiz.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. If they do, scoop it up, because it's going to get gone fast for sure.
Cool. All right. So what's next, Alex?
Your favorite animated movie, Megamind.
By the way, it was a very, very funny movie. It's supposedly there's going to be a 2024 show on Peacock.
Oh, of course. Good for them.
And these books are impossible to find.
Yeah.
I actually know the guy who started Ape Entertainment. I used to work with him at Wizard Magazine, like
interesting
20 years ago. Yeah. I don't think Ape's around anymore.
I don't believe so.
It was
there for a little while.
Time.
Yeah.
All right. So talk a little bit about the character. It's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, he's a supervillain, an alien supervillain. He defeats his arch enemy and then builds another one. And that good guy turns to be worse. And then now Megamind has to stop him. And it's a comedy animated movie. It's for kids, kind of kids like YA, but a lot of comedians are in it. I don't think these DreamWorks movies do too. It's no Shrek, but it was popular. It was popular enough. It made some money. It definitely didn't lose anything. And then, again, we've talked about this in the past. When you're a fan of something and there's not enough for you to consume, there's not a lot of books, there's not a lot of TV, it's only the one thing. When you find something else to that thing that you like so much and you want to read it, you have to find it. And a lot of times it's gone, way gone. This is a perfect example of someone being like, oh, Megamind, yeah, I want something for the cast aside. I want to read some New Adventures, or I love, my kid just found that movie and now he wants Megamind stuff and there's nothing on the shelves. What do I do? And this is where you find kind of this stuff where these things are hard to find. They weren't ordered high for sure.
Right. Yeah, they're impossible to find. So anyway, Reign of Megamind #0, San Diego Comic-Con 2010 exclusive comic from DreamWorks. It's a $25 plus raw book. It's impossible to find.
Yeah, I don't.
Then Megamind #1 from Ape Entertainment 2011, $30 plus raw if you can find it. You can't find it. Jason Burns, writer, Fernando Paniche art. Just impossible. And then issues 2 to 4, I can't even find any copies in existence at all. Like, you just literally can't find any copies anywhere. Yeah. So my recommendation to you is, knowing that the show is going to hit Peacock most likely next year, I think you should just look for any copies you can find.
Anything, any grades. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. What are we closing with today, Alex?
My favorite, your favorite Marvel miniseries, Nightwatch.
Yeah, you literally can't find these books anywhere. 1994, I was definitely working in the store, and I don't remember. I've seen the cover, and I have a pretty good memory of seeing the covers and seeing them on the shelves and having them put on the shelves. I don't remember this book coming out at all.
Yeah.
So it does have Ron Lim and Al Milgrom cover and art. So they definitely
had a story. Yeah.
They had a good team on it.
It was the right era.
There's a rumored Marvel film around it. So what is Nightwatch? What is Nightwatch?
It's this character, Dr. Kevin Trench. He's a Spider-Man spinoff. A lot of things are. Essentially, he's a doctor. He sees a costumed character fighting and dies, and he goes to help and unmasks the character, and it ends up being a future version of himself. So now he's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to become this superhero and I'm going to die. So he tries to not, run away to an island and never become a superhero. And then he does anyways. And then he comes back, and, there's not a lot of story here. They really tried to push this character with a miniseries and try to leave him in. He was in the Maximum Carnage stuff, but it didn't take anywhere. So for them to turn this into any kind of MCU stuff is just very odd. But you know, with Blade on its way, you know, coming down the line, and that kind of like, you know, they did the Halloween special last year, you know, going down this road of like your darker mystical versions of characters in the MCU is probably a way to go. Moon Knight is a good example of that as well.
Yeah.
Just weird. It's
right.
very weird they go down this road, but yeah.
Yeah. So Nightwatch #1, April of 1994, 11 9.8s. They sell for about $110 right now. The other issues are impossible to find. Listen, if you can pick these up cheap in dollar bins, you might as well do it.
This is a pack. I bet you can find these in like the guys that sell the full runs. This is a full run guy if I've ever seen it. Yeah.
So Terry Kavanaugh story, Ron Lim and Al Milgram cover and art. So we thank you for joining us this week. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the fields below. Otherwise, we will see you all next week. Same bad time.
Same bad channel.